Hi everyone, this is Albie from Albie's Kayak Stuff Australia. I just thought I'd make this really quick, short video with a bit of an explanation as to, a bit of information about how I get my 11.5 kayaks to fish a kayak up onto the roof of my Amarok. I've had a couple of people ask me what do I do, and sometimes I use a trailer, other times I use the car. But so this is basically what I've done. As you can see, I've just used some down pipes, which PVC, and I've just fit them onto the end bars of my roof rack like that. And then I actually utilise these straps. I wrap them around the roof bar like this, and I just hook that in. I get it a bit tighter than that obviously, but that's just to stop it coming off. I've got two of those. They are at a bit of an angle, which you'll see here, but works very, very well as far as the angle to pull the kayak up on. And then what I did over here, I was looking, there was a guy in Canada I think that put basically one of these winches here, a boat winch. This was about 50 bucks from BCF. He actually just strapped a lump of wood down here between his roof rails onto this roof rail on his canopy, on a little Subaru or something he had. I decided to go a bit heavier than that. I've actually made this bracket here, which I'll show you in a minute when it's not on, but this is the finished product here. This strap goes over. I feed a couple of climbing tape straps through the scupper holes on the kayak, so that when it pulls up central, and this is roughly in the middle of where the actual pull point is between the two poly pipes on the other side. So it does pull up very evenly, and when it gets up high enough, I can just give it a bit of a touch. I don't have to lift anything, just push it and slide it onto the roof rails, and then I use this to continue winching it on, and it works really well. So yeah, I'll put this down and I'll just take this out and I'll show you what this looks like. I haven't got great welding skills, but it works really well. And I can take this off once the kayak's off. This can come off, or you can use it for an added piece of strapping to hold the kayak on the roof. But I generally take this off once the kayak's on the roof, because it's only 2 bolts and it comes off. So I'll show you that with it off in a second. So this is now the bracket which I made, which has just been bolted on, a couple of bolts under here and plates under this rail which that holds my normal roof rack on. I just dropped the actual winch bracket into this receiver that I made, put 2 bolts through, and that's locked in. And I've got you can put wing nuts on this if you wanted to. I just used 2 standard bolts. And then down here, this is the actual unit I made. So these go into that receiver and the winch, and it works really well. It takes me all up about 10 to 15 minutes all up, on and off the kayak onto the roof of the car. And this is pretty high. Like, I'm only 5'9.5" or something, so the car roof is probably about 6'4" off the roof. So it's pretty high to get it up onto, but I've had a back injury and I can't afford to be lifting that high, so this works really well for me. Hopefully assist. If you like it, give us a thumbs up or subscribe, and thanks for watching. Now, also people have probably got to ask, what's the climbing tape or tape I use? These are the tapes. It's common for rock climbers to use. You can do a tape knot on them. These are rated to be able to tow a car and even probably lift a car. They're very, very strong, but they're perfect for going through your scupper hole, and you can pull them nice and tight, and then they just don't slip at all. So for your winch point for your lift, these are perfect, and you can adjust it to whatever length you want. I use this scupper hole and the one just behind the seat in the rear tray as my lift points, and that keeps the actual kayak balanced when it's being lifted up onto the roof, and it doesn't slip, whereas if you put a rope around the hull, similar to say this way, if you're just going under your hull and over the top, the rope can slide either way. But by using your scupper hole as your pull point, and tape is nice and flat, it's not going to cause any issues in your scupper hole, and you're only doing a pull, you're not putting it under any stress at all. So if you want those, these are really good for everything, for tie downs and all sorts, and they are a few bucks depending on size, but that's what I use. I've had these for donkey's years and they're still good as gold. There's some old ones I've had, and they never wear out. So anyway, thanks for watching.